since senior 3. Started with HTML, did a little bit of PHP, launched my first social network when I was in senior 5. Those days of, I don't remember that magazine, but I also started JavaScript Kampala. Afasha is here. We started, and most of the guys know me from JavaScript Kampala. So the topic today, also something to mention, the places where I work for. I work for Atari, I work for Hams, like Hams Stadium or something like that. I also work at Technovold, and also work for companies like Relic Tape. We are the Figma of Relics. So today's talk is a bit interesting. So the question will be like, how do we do what's serverless, and how do we run Python on the serverless network? I think, yeah. Okay, let's start with what's serverless and why should you care. So you see, when you're starting to write softwares, most of the times you love to set up your own server, get like a DigitalOcean, set up all these things. It takes a bit of long time, and for me, I always believe in pushing to production on day one, whether it crashes. but we've been doing this in JavaScript in a way that on day one we have a working prototype that we provide to either the client or we provide for ourselves to demo. So key points to look into, it's like serverless computing removes the thing of managing servers. That means like you have to set up dependencies, you have to set up the applications that you need to run the application you're trying to write. And for this instance can be like Python, so you need to set up the Python environment, like set up like the pipeline between GitHub and your server, and that can take you like a week. I don't know how long it takes. Like, does it take a day for anybody to set up a server? All right, so it takes a day. Okay, that's interesting. My G, we're pro, yeah. Pro. But for me, it can take me a month. Just a joke. But the idea is always much about building features rather than focusing on the servers. So popular platforms I can give you as an example, we have Vercel, we have AWS Lambda, we have the Google Cloud Functions. So serverless allows developers to focus on the code while infrastructure fades in the background. It's like there are servers in the background, but you don't have to worry about setting them up. Then why use Python and Next.js? Okay, so this is a combination between JavaScript and Python. So Python is the language, and Next.js is the full stack framework. So Next.js gives you the ability to write front end and back end. And for Python, we are going to see how we're going to write it in the what? We're going to see how we're going to write it in the back end. So a couple key points here. So Python is a flexible, high-level language with strong support for web frameworks. We are talking about Django, I think also Flask, and ideal for building like endpoints and logical. So I can give you some examples of some of the platforms that are using Python. We can say Instagram, or I think Pinterest, if I remember properly. Like in Uganda, do we have any kind of companies using Python like for applications? Anybody? Anyone knows? You guys, you know any? If I can remember, the census application which was used for collecting census is one of the applications. Although the front end is kind of using Next.js, but on the back end is much of using Python. So that could be an example of how powerful Python as a language for the back end is. Then Next.js is a React framework with serverless. So Next.js is like React with some, how can I say? It's like eating commando, but with meat. Okay. So Next.js is the mixture. So it brings a strong things like it brings things like server-side rendering. So you do have a bit of rendering on the server, then static generation, what the people see, and perfect for combining modern frameworks with serverless functions. So a couple of companies that I can say that are using Next.js, we have Airbnb. Oh, by the way, I like talking about local companies that are using. So there's a company called, anybody who has heard about Kampala Analytica? Kampala Analytica. Anybody? Okay, so Ugandan one. Anybody who has had like a company called Design Without Borders? All right, cool. It's fine. It's really, really fine. But those are just kind of examples. Then the key benefit of having these two is like it's full stack development without worrying about the infrastructure. So benefits of serverless Python application. So we have scalability. It's like the way serverless works. Like it kind of, okay. How can I say? So the platforms that we aim to use are kind of like having multiple data centers. So meaning that your application becomes kind of distributed. So anybody accessing it from somewhere else, they don't have a lot of latency. It's easier for them to make a call from there. If you are in my place like Kawempe, you can make a transaction happen. If you're in Juba, you can make a transaction happen. Then the cost efficiency. Okay, something to also mention is like most of the applications I've shipped them for free. It's like 0 on day one. Except right now, it's like I have to pay because I've utilized all the free dependencies. And reduced maintenance, it's like you are not going to worry about how the server is off. So let me go and just open up the terminal so that I can fix and all that. Everything is kind of done for you. Then the development speed is like most of the times you can get it directly from GitHub to your application. So yeah, I think we are done with code. Like we are done with the talk. Let us see how it works in code, right? Am I allowed to use the terminal? All right, cool. Okay. So the code is available on GitHub. Let's see. Yeah, it's here. Oh, is it fine for me to open up? Code spaces. So we are going to have like a simple demo of how to do it, yeah. And just oh damn. Like, all right, cool. So we have a bit of few minutes. So I think as we are doing the talk, I hope you can write down so the few things you need, yeah. So it's taking a bit of time. How do we put dark mode? Okay, so a couple of things that we need to for us to run like to run the application, we need a couple of things. We need the requirements.tsx. That's where you put the dependencies of Python. You need to put it on the index so that the application where you're going to deploy, it knows that this is a Python. This is the Python kind of application you're trying to do. Then the next thing that you need, okay, so in the requirements, we put the Flask, yeah, and then the Flask dependency and the version. Then we need a couple of things. So when you go to, just a second, okay, cool. Going to show you. It's fine. Okay. So we need the requirements to TSX. Then we need something called the Next.conf. So the way that is going to work is like we are not going to run Python like on the same port as Next.js, because these are two different environments, right? Yeah. So we are going to run Python on a different port, which is going to be 532.8. I don't know if that's the right way of pronouncing it. And then we are going to do some proxy whereby we're going to route it. That once, okay, something to mention is like the next code tells the where you're deploying, like this is how I want you to work. So what it's going to do is like it's going to route it. And it's going to slash it on the endpoint for the API. Then we need to set up the API folder, and there we want to put the Flask application. So I did a simple Flask application. It's for developers. It's for getting developers and adding developers. So what we're going to do is let me see how ban works. Ban install. Yeah, it did. Okay, I think npm yarn install. Okay, just a second. Let us first wait for it to install. But as it's installing, I would love to mention like oh, we just put it in the middle. Why? Wait. Okay, right. Yeah, sure. So something to mention is like this is a pure Python. It's like we are not gimmicking any kind of any kind of something like how do I say, any kind of something like Node or something. It's all pure Python. And something also to mention about the Next call. So what it's doing is like it's telling Next, it's telling like any platform where you're deploying, like use this path, and the destination should be going to this or development. So you just kind of proxy route it so that it can make requests to the Python application. So it's the same way where we would have written like equal sign like application and something. So we do it here. Just a second. Also something to mention, I didn't show you in the folder. We don't have the other app, the app like equals main or something. You get it, right? We don't have that because it's going to be running automatically. So let us run it. Just a second. Okay. So it's up. So what it's showing us is it's going to create the environment. So it has created the Python environment. It has indexed, installed all the applications. Now it's telling us like just a second. Source not found. Oh, this is bad. Oh, it's here. It has worked. Just a second. Oh, no. Something went wrong, but even if that's okay, something may have crashed. But because of time, let me show you what the real application works. So we have to just come back here. Where is the PowerPoint? Okay. Alright, so I'm going to copy this. Okay, cool. So we're going to go for one. It's called Postwoman. Have you guys ever used Postwoman before? Like Postman? You guys, yeah, it's called Postwoman. Yeah, Postwoman is is there also. You guys should discover more stuff. Yeah. So please. I think the internet is a bit slow, but the application is already on top. Like just a second. Open up. All right, cool. So let us make a request to the endpoint. Oh, delete copy. So let us try to send like an API request. So it's going to fail that one, but we need to do /API developers. It's going to return us an empty array. Remember the array we had, right? But now let us put in some data. So we're going to post, and we're going to here, we're going to put some names. So you also can feel free to put something in the API. That's the API. You're free to send a request. I want to show you how it's really flexible. So we are going to put a name. Any name you guys have as a suggestion? Any name? Yes. Jonah. Okay, that's the spelling, right? That's the spelling, right? Okay, cool. So we send to Jonah. So we have sent a new developer added, right? So let us duplicate this so that we can get like the developer. So we have Jonah now. So any other name? Just one more. Any name? Kayondo. You guys are trolling, yeah? Alright, Kayondo. So we sent to Kayondo, then we tried to get Kayondo back. We have Kayondo back. So applications of such an application can do anything. So in case if you wanted to host it, everything here is hosted on Vercel, yeah. So the idea is like you can ship anything you want to ship, no matter the language. And also something to mention, you guys may be asking, can we do it with Django? Can we do it with I don't know if Go works, but I think it's possible because it's still servers, yep. But anyway, you could see all that with Vercel. So let's see. How do we? Okay, just. Okay, yeah. So questions. I'm open to any questions. It's fine. I don't know if it works, because but if your camera is good, but when you go there, you'll be just seeing the array we have just created. But still, if you okay, you try it out. Sorry, try it out. Has it worked? Has it worked? Has it worked? After has it worked, right? So does it show like the array? It shows the array. Somebody should fill in a lot of data for us to crash it, right? but that's that's the power of serverless, and you can utilize it for any application. If in case you are doing an AI model, you can run with it. Yeah, nothing is impossible. The only thing that's impossible is when you don't write code. Yeah, like, yeah. Okay, so I think I would wait for questions now. Yes. All right, cool. Let me do that. So, okay. So I think let us start with Python. We don't really need Flask, yeah, unless we needed any other dependency. Oh, sorry. What happened? Oh, I think I understand what's going on. Duplicate. Forgive me. Like, okay. So for Python, we only need Flask. But in case if you needed any other dependencies, like you wanted to convert something to something, or OpenAI AI kind of dependencies, you just put them here in the requirements of TSX. Then for JavaScript or Next.js, we need something called concurrency. So concurrency is the one that runs on development. It will run the different I don't know how do you tap this. Okay, so for our functions to run at the same time, we need something called concurrency. So you install it from here. You do npm install concurrency, and then you can run it. Then something also to mention is how do we even run Python locally. So what we did was like we pass in the Python. The okay, something also to mention is like where you're running it should be having Python. But if in case you were running it on your own server, I would recommend some things like something called deploy. Okay. So like there's this application called deploy. I don't know why it's doing this. Okay, just a second. It has to fail fast. Yeah, it's here. So deploy gives you the ability to deploy. It's like Vercel, but on your own machine or on your server. So it will use different kind of mechanisms like Next, or you can even use Docker. So it will install all the dependencies for you, so that it can what? It can run. Then also something to finish up, after like we activate the environment, then we install the requirements, and then we say, you guys are Python, you know how to you run this, like you run the Flask, and then after that we just run it with concurrency. Does that answer your question? Right. Thank you. That's good. Okay, so to get started, you just need to install Next.js. So the procedure I would say, you go to nextjs.com.org, and then you get started. But still, if you really want to know, to be direct, you want to run everything directly, you should come on, I think it's called templates. Oh, templates, and then search for Flask. You can search for Flask. Or if you really want to do Django, you can do Django. See? But it's all on the on the nextjs.org, and then you do templates. Another question here. Just one more, like. Cool. Vassal, yeah. Now I would love to, but my PC is down, so I can't choose it right now. But the idea is just like, you go on Vercel, yeah, you connect your GitHub, yeah, and then it fetches the code. So by default, there's this thing called serverless servers as servers. You getting, yeah? You don't have to set them up. So at the end of the day, it will know what type of application it is. If it's Python, it will know it's a Python application, and then it will run it will run that. So something as a trick I will ask you to do is like create a Python application, put everything on the index here, go and put it on GitHub, and then kind of pull it with Vercel. See if it will run. But still, I think it may not run because you need the proxy, because of how the environment is. But with dogploy, you can even do that. But you're getting what I'm trying to say, right? Yeah. But I would have showed you, in case if you need more, I can give it to you as I can show you when we are free how to do it. All right. Thank you guys again.